The World Health Organization reported a record one-day increase in global coronavirus cases yesterday, with the total rising by almost 308,000 in 24 hours.
The biggest increases were from India, the US and Brazil. So even as Singapore keeps our community cases under control, there are no signs of COVID-19 waning in other parts of the world.
Well, experts told the Straits Times that even with a vaccine, life will not return to pre-COVID-19 normal for years. For example, there will be travel, but not to the extent of pre-pandemic days.
And even as more people return to the workplace, many will continue working from home at least part of the time.
We're pleased to welcome senior health correspondent for the Straits Times, Salma Khalid, to the show. So Salma, your piece was one of the most read today. Haryanto thought you painted a rather grim outlook. I felt a little bit differently. Now you've spoken to probably to some people about this and would have received responses from readers. So what have their reactions been to your story, as well as more broadly, how they're feeling since Doors Gone Orange started more than 7 months ago?
Very much like you and Haryanto, Olivia. Something this, something that. Some people are suffering from COVID fatigue, right? They think the numbers here are so low, maybe it's time that we ease things more and let people live life as per normal. Others are saying, look at what's happening in the world, it's still very bad. We cannot let our guard down, otherwise we will end up in situations like them. So there is no uniform reaction, and I guess it depends very much on the individual and the amount of risk they're willing to bear.
Right. So now let's take a look at things globally. The WHO reported a record single-day increase in global cases, and according to a Reuters analysis, infections are rising in 58 countries. Are we seeing a second wave around the world?
Again, there is no one global pattern. There is this is not a global reaction and response. Every country responds differently. What's happening in different countries is different. It depends on the people, on the governments, and on how severe the cases are. Like in India, I would say it's still probably just the first wave and it's getting worse. In the US, the first wave never disappeared. Some countries are seeing a second wave. Some countries are actually waving goodbye to COVID because the incidence is so low. So there is no global pattern to this whole thing right now in terms of people's response.
Salma, months ago in the early stages of the pandemic, experts thought that the virus would wane during the hotter summer months. If we're not already seeing a second wave, can we expect a resurgence as the northern hemisphere approaches the colder part of the year?
Actually, when not all the experts say that in the first place, but the ones that said that saw this as a type of flu virus. So during the winter months, there are always more flu cases. Whether that happens this year, we do not know. Hopefully, a lot more people will take the flu vaccine so that you do not have flu and COVID-19 confusing the healthcare workers. If the number of flu patients goes down, then at least they can concentrate on COVID. The trouble with winter in countries that have winter is that people tend to be indoors a lot rather than outdoors. And if they do congregate, the risk is there.